having to tap into some free Wi-Fi from Lowe's because I tried to go live from another spot, but the Wi-Fi wasn't good. And but welcome. And what I want to talk about today, and with the sustainable life, even with bad lighting. Look at that lighting, bad lighting. We adjust as we go. Bear with me. It's part of live. You never know what's going to happen on live feed. That's better. Right, shine. Free to be me, Sam. I am. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to have you. Life is about adjustment. Sustainability is about adjustment. Right now, I just had to adjust where I was parked for the Wi-Fi and for the lighting. Flexibility allows you to adjust more easily. When your clothes fit loose, you have more flexibility. You can sustain doing something a little bit longer when you're comfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you can do something for a short period of time, but you can't sustain it. When you go on a diet, you have to be a little bit uncomfortable. You have to be a little bit intense because you have to change your habits, your eating habits. And you have to do that for a period of time, not 30 days, not 60 days, not even a year, several years. And then you have to dial it back or adjust it so that you can sustain it. Because there's one thing to lose weight, and then there's another thing to sustain it off. This nomadic life, there's one thing to get intense and say, I want to downsize my life. But there's another aspect of this life that you have to do it so it's sustainable. And I believe if you're going to do the nomad life, I believe the only way it's sustainable is good self-care. I've seen so many people drop out of the nomadic life or not thrive in it because they're not taking care of themselves. But if you ever live on the road, you have to be in the best shape ever, mind, body, and soul. Because living on the road will wear on your mind, number one. Will wear on your body. Traveling is a demand on your body. And that presses pressure on your soul. This is everything in life. The ecosystem of life, the environment, has to be sustainable. Has to be a balance between using resources but not overusing them. Life is about balance, the search for balance. Because the right balance allows you to sustain whatever you're trying to achieve. You have to be extreme sometimes, but if you stay in extreme mode, you can't sustain. You eventually will crash hard. Your investments. I have a desire, I have a goal to live off my investments, to own all my time. But to do that, I can't have one good trade. I can't have one good year of returns. I can't hope to get rich off a quick rich scheme. I have to have a track record of proven data that says, look, this is sustainable based on certain ways of investing or certain ways of you're able to do something. And there's no guarantees. But for me, everything in life that I tried to do, whether it was losing 200 pounds, whether it was downsizing my life, whatever it is for me, goal of investment, I say, Sam, I want to try to build this sustainable, long term, because I want my life to be long term in a good place. Now, what do you do when you don't have a long-term vision? Then you just get fucking raw and intense. And then you just get extreme. To get the waves of energy change direction. When you have to change directions, you have to get extreme and you have to cause some waves. Then you have to be wise enough to know you have to adjust. You have to change your spot in the parking lot. You have to do whatever you have to do. You have to adjust. You have to be flexible. Part of the reason why I'm very cautious on buying a home base, because I know that the flexibility I have is an asset and I use it. My Wi-Fi gets a little choppy. But some of what I'm just sharing is, and we're back to the bed light, and some of the things I was just sharing was just my thoughts on the different aspects of life and hacks of life and how important it is to really try to build something for yourself and for whatever your goals are that are eventually rooted in a level of balance and things that keep you in a good space and things that you can sustain, because that's the only way it's going to work out. And that's important. Live comments. Oh, Janet, what happened yesterday? I don't know, Janet. What happened yesterday? Free to be me. Prozac, your thoughts? I don't know. I don't have any personal experience with it. It's just like any drug. I mean, some people may need it. Some people may abuse it. And there are side effects. So everyone is different. So it's very hard for me to, make a general statement about one specific drug. But I will say, before you take any drug, there's no substitute for self-care. But some people don't have the ability to self-care. They just don't have it in them to discipline themselves. And I understand that. I don't judge that. I learned that from dealing with my mother. My mother needs like 2 knee replacements. But what I often share with my mom, she's like 70 and overweight and older. I said, Ma, if you get these knee replacements, you're going to be bedridden for 2 years. And you're going to eat yourself to death. I said, so I'm not against you getting it if you're in pain. But, part of the reason she needs replacements is she's older. But another part is, she's overweight and she puts a lot of stress on her knees. So the knee replacement is a workaround, but the true core improvement is eat a healthy diet and learn to not always be in the bed, but not always stand on your feet and work hard. You got to balance it. But she was never the type of person that can find balance as far as with her health and self-care. She would go from one extreme to another, extreme diet or extreme gluttony. And I remember when I was going on my diet, changing my life, I remember I went to visit her and she was on the barbecue grill cooking up barbecue chicken, and she cooked like tons of it. And I tried to explain to her, I said, Ma, I don't eat like that anymore. And she couldn't understand it. And we got in a huge fight. And it was sad because you don't want to fight with your mother. And mothers and some women, they look at food and feeding you as a form of affection and showing their love. And so when you say, look, I don't want to have your food, I don't eat like that, they get hurt. But sometimes I had to get extreme. I had to tell her because I had to take care of me. Because when I went to the hospital, because I wasn't taking care of myself, it didn't matter about, look, you know what? Doesn't matter if you're going to offend some people because you got to take care of you. And so my thoughts on Prozac, my thoughts on Chick-fil-A, my thoughts on anything, that's artificial is, look, everyone has their own specific issues. So I can't speak to everyone. What I can say, as much as you can, self-care. If you're the type of person where you just can't take care of yourself, and there's plenty of people out there like that, and I'm not better than them, and they're not better than me. It's just that there's different people with different struggles. Is as best you can, try to go for a walk. As best you can, try to eat healthy. As best you can, keep healthy relationships. And repeat those 3 things the rest of your life, and that will help you. And then if you need to take a drug on top of that to keep your sanity or keep your sustainability, that's a decision a person has to make based on their own personal issues. But good question. That's my answer. AJ, that's my guy, full-time in Miami. I know AJ wants me to tell him I'm never getting a full base. I'm going to buy a Prius, and I may do that. Because that red tide, almost like a red flag. I'm a little bit suspect now. I got it, not on Florida. I love Florida, all my heart. But I like my flexibility. I don't know. I'm thinking that I may not do home base. I was close yesterday. I was like, going to call, but I don't know. AJ says, my Colombian lady friend slept over in my Prius last night. Shockingly, it was a lot of fun. Well, shockingly, that is what you call an extremely great time. But what I can tell you is that's not a sustainable relationship. So, but that's fine if you're not looking for that. Like me, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for a sustainable, loving, affectionate, romantic relationship. I'm looking for an extremely good time in my Jeep Renegade. For you, your Toyota Prius. But there's no way that relationship is sustainable because eventually that woman's going to want to nest. She's going to want to build something with you. If she wasn't a prostitute, if she wasn't an extreme fling. But like, this is a parable, this is an example. If you're really going to build a relationship with a romantic partner, there has to be a home base, there has to be a house, there has to be there has to be a nest, because that's the only way to have boundaries, to have space, to have sustainability. You couldn't both live in a car. There's not enough boundaries, there's not enough space, it's not sustainable. But what it is a freakingly awesome, extremely good time. But that's all it is, and that's what I like. So understand that lesson, that to sustain something, you have to have distance, you have to have boundaries. You have to have a nesting environment where there's a balance of things. In a car, there's not a balance of things as far as for two people. For one person, some. For two, not in a car, in my opinion. But this is what I would tell you. Good job, AJ. Good to see you. I may just never get a home base, but I may get one tomorrow. I'm subject to change my mind anytime. T-Ma, did you put some original Floridians in their place today? Well, I certainly got a comment by a viewer that spurred that. But I always felt that, and I always knew how to eventually make a video about that because I felt that spirit always. And that spirit was out there. It's not just an original Floridian spirit. Again, it's an entitled spirit. It's a religious entitlement. There's an entitlement with your sibling. The oldest sibling has an entitlement that they're the boss of the family. The person who has been in that church the longest has an entitlement that they know best. The person that has been at that company for the longest has an entitlement that they are here for the longest. They have seniority. Entitlement is a real thing. Whether it's a Floridian, whether it's your sister, whether it's a coworker, whether it's the deaconess, or if it's a religion. What it is, it all comes back. It's a low character person. Low character. How should you discern someone? By the content, not of their YouTube channel, but of their character. The content of their character shall be the ultimate discernment. No matter where they're born, where they're from, how long they've been somewhere, the discernment of character. That's it. Good job. Hope you didn't let anyone steal your joy. Oh, never. Just a little fired up, but I'm sustaining my joy. Good job. We know that you are a good character. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I even say, look, don't put me on a pedestal because even me, I'm subject to failure. But that's how you know, pretty good character. But I'm not perfect, so don't put me on a pedestal. Thank you. Mr. JD, hello there. Free to be me. When I stopped eating pig, my whole family turned against me. Yeah, that's part of it. And that's good. That's how you know you're on the right track. When are you on the right track? When other people think you're crazy. When other people are happy with you, that means you're in the same boat as them. So look around. Do you want to be in the same boat as them? Most people, you don't want to be in the same boat as them. Yolanda, oh my. Hey, Sam, hugs, friendly. Well, praise the Lord. Thank you. I appreciate that, Yolanda. Love and respect back to you. Well, my feelings are home base, no decision, but today was a really turn towards no home base. Why? Not really the red tide pollution that I saw. Well, not pollution. It's algae. Pollution spurs it more. But it was just the fact that at any moment, if I wanted to change my direction a little bit, if I'm married to a property, not as easy. If you're married to a person, if you want to change direction, it's not as easy. I know a married couple that lives in Florida. One wants to move north Florida. One wants to move south. Not easy to compromise when you're married. When you own property, you're married to that property. Now, I like the RV lot because it's a small marriage, because just a lot, but still a marriage. Even for $25,000, it's a marriage. I don't know if I want to be married. But is living in a car sustainable? Not for many. For me, maybe. I do feel a joy. Like right now, I was thinking about that. Right now, if I had that home base, what would I be doing? Would I still be here or would I be at that home base? I kind of like floating. Obviously, like if I go to my night spot to sleep, I'm not doing the campground tonight. If there's an issue there, then that would be a a little disturbing, but I like sleeping in my car. I think I would be uncomfortable sleeping in an RV. But that's that. We'll see. Sailing John, been praying for you. Sailing John, gonna be in Virginia coming up. Sailing John he has set to sea. He has set to sea. Sailing John, whatever you do, watch out for Jupiter, man, because Jupiter's got that algae too, man. That green nasty algae's in Jupiter. Nasty. Sailing John, hey Sam, been traveling a week now. Slow on a boat. Laugh out loud. Good job. We'll be in North Fork, Virginia tomorrow, heading south to Florida. Yes. Moving forward. Good job. I may be heading north. I'm still debating in my mind, do I want to go up north tomorrow for a week to see my mother? It's the last week in New Jersey. It looks like that's going to be in the 70s. After that, it's going to start to go to the 60s and then winter. And am I going back up there in the winter? Oh, hell no. Okay. So pray for me. I got to make a decision. Janice, rent an RV for a week. Well, to me, it's not about a decision about buying an RV. It's about buying a home base. So I really don't want to rent one unless I don't want to rent one, period. I mean, to me, it's just about, I'm trying to debate if I want to buy that RV lot. Because if I buy an RV, it's just going to be a small little one. It's just going to be a small little one to plop on that lot. Zakia, whatever choice you make is a good one. Thank you for that love. But based on your hesitation over the past few live feeds now, I think option D is the best. You never know that. That's option D is none of the above. That's possible. This decision seems to be causing too much stress. It is. That's a fair point, Zakia. You know me pretty good now. What I can tell you is I've been stressing lately. Now, all decisions are stressful, so I got to be fair. But I've been getting myself all worked up. And because I just think if I get the home base, then I got to deal with the whole contract process. I got to close on the house. It's going to be 30 days worth of aggravation. And then I got to change all my addresses on my license, registration, on my tax forms. I got to go through a whole process. I mean, not a big deal, but you think about it. Then I got to go to the RV dealership. Then I got to buy an RV. Then I got to set up the delivery. Then once I get it there, I got to anchor it down. Then I got to, go to the homeowner association, go through all that transfer of information. And then I finally settle in probably around the new year. Everything will be settled. And then I don't know. Then fucking all of a sudden green algae comes. And then it's toxic. And then it's crazy. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Good job. Yolanda, when in doubt, X. Yeah. Sesame Street. I hear that. Good job, Yolanda. Janice, would be a good test if you want to see if you can sleep in one. No, that's a fair point. I mean, it's a fair point. I like I say, to me, I love sleeping in my car. I do. If I'm trying to think in my mind, like if I could buy that home base and if I knew they allowed me to sleep in my car without a problem, it would be a little bit easier because then I know I don't have to commit to an RV right away. I mean, I could buy the home base and not put anything on it right away and just like leave it there. That's an option. But then it's like a waste a little bit. And even when you go to sleep in your car, the problem with that is, because there's nature behind it. There's a bunch of open land, that there are mosquitoes and stuff there. So when I park by vegetation, if I don't have, in a car, all those insects get in your car and then itch at night. I know that from campgrounds. So, I really have to be in an RV with screened in windows for that to be a pleasant experience, I think. Apathy sucks. Sam, I love the live chat. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Love and respect back to you. Karen, your car has become your nest. Karen, I love you. I appreciate you. Karen is one of my good friends from the Space Coast. Everyone give a hand clap and a heart emoji to Karen. She's a good woman. It's been a blessing to me and I appreciate her. And Karen's right. I mean, my car has become my nest. It's my nest with wings. And I like that. I feel a great freedom. I'm definitely comfortable. Like, my reason for a home base is not that, like, at night I'm not comfortable. Or, like, when I love, like, going to get something to eat and being in my car. I was thinking about that when I went and got a vegetarian sub tonight. I came out of the store. And I was looking forward to like sitting in my car, watching YouTube on my holder. Like, I don't know if I would want to go back to the days like where I go to Publix And then I got to put all the groceries in a car. Then I got to drive to my home base. Then I got to put everything in the RV. I mean, not a lot, but it's still not. And then I got to like, sit down and settle into the RV. Like I like wherever I go, like my house is here. So then I say to myself, am I making my life less enjoyable or more? There's definitely some value in the home base or else I wouldn't be looking at it because, you do get road weary and it's a challenge sometimes to find safe, legal parking. And if you're disturbed in the middle of the night, it only happens once in a while. It kind of like just reminds you that, look, eventually, I don't know, maybe I got to do something, but, I don't know, again, mixed emotions, but there's no doubt about it that my car has become my nest and I love it. I thrive in it. I thrive in the fact, today, I don't know how many, I spent more money than I would have had a home base. I burned up $30 worth of gas. I probably traveled a few hundred miles just within Florida. I just go up and down different things I want to do. So, and I wanted to do that. Like, I don't know, even if it wasn't like if I had a home base, like I went to the home base area and I looked at people who were living in that community. I wanted to look at it again. And you know what they were doing? They were power washing, cause some of them have RVs, some of them have mobile homes, some of them, but they're taking care of their property is like their child. Like they got to take care of it. Like, they're just keeping busy, like they're power washes stuff, even like small little RVs and mobile homes. Like, the community takes care of it. It's good. But like, they nest, they put their little decorations up for the holidays and they talking to their neighbors. And I started to want to throw up like, Sam, I just want a safe, legal place to park where there is electric. If one day, like I do want to put an RV on there. I did see there was a thing for $27,000 for an acre of land with a cabin on it. But it's in really the middle of nowhere. There's not paved roads, and I don't want to go down that road. Like right now, if I wanted to go to my home base and it was in the middle of nowhere and there was no lights and there was no paved road, I wouldn't be inspired. I wouldn't be. I'll be a little bit shook. I'll be a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm not a scaredy cat, but I don't want to go like in the middle of nowhere, with no lights on. Look, like I'm in an urban area, like just lights, just stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a little crazy. I love you, Karen. T-Ma, nothing wrong with keeping it moving. It's wisdom. You can circle back to the home base idea anytime you want and avoid that buyer's remorse that get too many of us. Amen. I've been there. When I leased that Range Rover, big buyer's remorse. As soon as I got home, I said, damn, I fucked up. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. But this is how I talk. And that's how I felt. And believe me, there's been several times in my life where I had buyer's remorse. And I knew immediately. Obviously part of that buyer's remorse is usually when you buy above your means. So the only good thing I feel that at this point in my life that I've learned, I don't want to be cocky, but I believe that through the grace of God, I've learned is that if I do buy something, it's going to be way below my means. So even if I do say, well, maybe this isn't for me and I made a mistake, I won't have that extreme buyer's remorse because I still have flexibility. When you buy above your means or even at your means, that's when buyer's remorse comes because you feel you're not flexible. Oh, you're rigid now because you're too leveraged into it. So, but it's a fair point, and that's why I'm taking it cautious. Because I say to myself, Sam, I'm 38. My key reason, one of my reasons too, for a home base is, for me to, why I'm keeping it at such a low scale. I want to be able to one day, live off my investments where I don't have to worry about. So, if I know my fixed costs are only going to be a couple $100, then I don't need to make much. And then I don't need to take as much risk. I just need to, periodically make this or that. But also, I was trying to think, like if I was retired now, if I was self-retired living off my investments, would I still want to just travel how I travel today? And yeah, the answer is yeah. So, really what would the home base give me? I guess it gives you a level of peace of mind. But it also can give you a piece of stress. I do get stressed when I just think about fixed bills. I spend more now than I would if I had a home base because I travel a lot. Just spending a lot out to get little things that if you could just buy in bulk and store in your RV, you'd be better off. Anyone who lives on the road can testify to this. People who don't realize. But And I live life. I don't just, crawl around in my car. I mean, you guys see that. But I don't know. It's just something about like once they have your hooks, they have their hooks in you once you get into a fixed location. The HOA does, the utility provider does, even the township does, and you're subject to their rules and regulations until you can get out. Now, when I sold my condo in New Jersey, it was just a tough process to get out of everything. To get out of the HOA, to get out of the township. I mean, the township was a disaster. I had to get so many inspections and certifications before I could hand over the title of my house. It was a disaster. HOA, I mean, I did have to go through several forms before I could like fully exit out. I mean, and even like it lingered a couple months after. Like, because then the new owner was like, oh, well, we still need this, we still need that. And I was like, oh my God, And it was just, I made a video about that, like right during that time. Like when you sell a property, it's like pulling up roots and it takes a long time to heal. And that's why I'm very cautious to put down more roots, because I say to myself, Sam, sometimes you need to put down roots to be sustainable, to build something. But my roots are deep inside my soul. You understand what I'm saying? And they're really, my heart is, my roots are in Florida, but it's like, I don't know if it has to be in a fixed location. I give more to the state, in campground fees than I would in property taxes. Property taxes for that home base was $360. I spent more on that in the campground in 14 days. So I probably paid more to Florida. And that's fine with me because I love Florida. But these are my thoughts. Thank you, T-Mott. Rico, peace of mind is everything. Well, I agree with that. That's true. Peace of mind is key. Mind, body, soul, all three working together in a balanced, sustainable level is key. And that always needs a little adjustment. Sound John, who needs it? Less stress and no drama is the way to go. Well, you and many other people have made that comment, and I think that's wisdom. I'm being very cautious here. However, that is for you, and I appreciate you giving me the freedom to do me. Sailing John coming down to Florida in the Virginia area, sailing slowly but sure. Sailing John, man, you plan this thing out pretty good, man. The weather is exactly how you want it to be. Next week starts Jersey down to the 60s, and then it's going to be a disaster. You're heading south just at the right time. You plan this very good. Karen, yes, you fly when you wish. That's true. Thank you, Karen. And I mean, I say to myself, Sam, you're 38. You're by the grace of God, you're in good health. I mean, this is the time to do it, to continue to do it. I mean, I always have a mind and I think ahead. So I realize that anytime your health can go, and I realize as you get older, I realize this could be harder. But then I say to myself, so like, even if I got older and I got an RV, I know how to move in and out of campgrounds, do some free camping, do some regular camping. I mean, even if I was older and I was going to be more bound to being static, I know how to live in this lifestyle now that I could do that, because I'm thinking about it like, then I could just maybe even buy a Class C. If I'm not going to drive around as much as I drive around now, then I could just buy a Class C instead of buying a 30, because again, the home base is going to be 25,000 basically, plus at least another 10 for RV. So I'm looking at 35,000. I mean, for about 45,000, you buy a brand new Class C. So, you'll have no home base, but more room isn't a problem. I mean, I'm getting away from the subject. I don't know. The biggest thing I'm not willing to give up now is the flexibility and the freedom. That's my biggest sticking point. It's not the commitment to Florida. I know I love Florida. I definitely know that. It's not even like commitment itself, because I'm committed to certain things in my life, to self-care, to working hard. I've been with the same company for 10 years, same industry, 20. So I'm not like, I don't like commitment, but I know that certain things in life you should commit to build up a good, sustainable life. So I'm not the type of person that quits his job every week. So I'm not that type of guy. But, one viewer had said to me, Sam, he basically said, Sam, I support you, whatever you decide, but just always ask yourself this: is this purchase going to increase your self-care or hurt your self-care? And I thought that was a great comment. I don't remember who said it. Forgive me. But I've been thinking about that these past couple of days. I've been stressing out. And I'm trying to play it out in my mind. And I'm saying, if I buy it, I'm thinking of all the things I got to do because I know what I got to do. I bought a house before. So it's a small level house, but I know like I gotta, get all my paperwork re-registered. I gotta deal with the HOA. I gotta, deal with the RV dealership. I gotta get it delivered. And then I go back to standing at that RV lot. I gotta wait between, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the RV to get delivered. Then I gotta find a contractor to tie it down to the concrete pad. But then I say to myself, Sam, are you blowing this up? I don't know. I looked around and I looked at some RVs that were situated there, and I just keep seeing components. I saw the electrical line, the sewer line, the water line, the anchors. And I'm thinking to myself, Sam, look at all these damn components. Why do you want those components in your life? I don't want components in my life. I don't know. But I'm in a different season where I'm entertaining it seriously, or at least even if I let it pass, I will say that I'm in a different place now than I was last year. But last year I wasn't in Florida full time. And that's why I had no desire for a home base because I wanted to settle into Florida. And look back at my early videos. I always said if I ever buy something again, it's not going to be a house, it's going to be an RV lot. So this direction I'm going is something that's been in my spirit for a long time. So that's why I continue to go down it because I feel it. Like this was always been a vision. This isn't something like I just woke up and said, all right, now I want a home base. This was part of my vision always. And so that on the other hand says, all that being said, now's a good time. I'm a little bit wary about how it's situated because of some issues, whether it's wood pollution or whatever. I mean, that concerns me. And, right now, South Florida's having an issue with algae. There's no doubt about that. On the West Coast, East Coast, and in the middle. It's real. And I'm not, look, it's real. And now, could it change immediately? Hell yeah. Look, we go through cycles. Could it be something long-term and then you're screwed? Hell yeah. Things change. But, I don't know. These are just my thoughts. I'm thinking out loud. John Suttles, great channel, Sam. You are an inspirational friend. John, I appreciate you, man. Love and respect, man. I know 2 guys named John Suttles. Okay, nice. Florida's beautiful. Florida's gorgeous. Florida is a magical, tropical, subtropical place with vast lands, and at different parts of the state are different experiences. Northern Florida is an experience. Central Florida, Disney World's an experience. The west coast of Florida, Gulf of Mexico is an experience. The Atlantic currents and the Atlantic Ocean, the energy from there is an experience. South Florida, Miami, that's an experience. There's different experiences. The country lands of Florida, the rural country lands are a beautiful experience. Lake Okeechopee's experience got some issues right now. But, Florida is a great experience. I mean, if you love hot weather, like today, I woke up. I'll say where I was because I'm not there anymore. I was in Jacksonville. I was in Jacksonville because I was getting ready to go back up north. I was going to go see my mom. And I slowly migrated up there, and I was like, and I woke up this morning, it was getting cold because as you get, even in Florida, as you get more north in the state, it gets colder. If you draw a line in the middle of Florida, like from Orlando to Tampa to Melbourne, above that is subtropical. Below that is tropical. So the higher you go up north, the cooler it gets. So it was like starting to be cool, like 60 degrees and stuff in the morning. And I was like, man, do I want to go back to back to Jersey with the gray skies? I love my mother. I love it. She knows I love her. So, and I spent enough time with my mother in my lifetime that, God forbid, if something happens, I'll never feel guilty. So I'm at peace. But this is what I'm sharing with you. So I woke up. I said, I got to feel that hot sun, man. There's something in my mind. I got to feel it. And so I went back down south, man. I went all the way down to Palm Beach. And it was magical. It was magical. That hot weather, I was just sitting in my car at one point and then walking around. It was just like, it was giving me that vitamin D, that hot by the equator sun that you feel directly on you. I need that. Okay. Those gray skies, like the sun, like peeks its head out of the cloud and stings you a little bit. That's not what I want. I want close to the equator, that sun hugs you. I just don't want that algae hugging me. Not good. Nordic Pride. You're enjoying yourself, bro. Yes. Shout out to my guy from Miami. The rent is high as hell in Miami. Nordic Pride. You got to go option C. You got to get that mobile home, man. Come on. I want to see you with that. And you $80,000. You can swing it. Negotiate a little bit. Apathy. Oops. Message ended abruptly. Sam, if the red tide could talk, it would say, Sammy, I'm a permanent thing. And I'm only going to get worse. Listen to your gut about me. Love and respect. Well, it's funny, like, because I'm telling you, when I woke up this morning, I was very close to texting a real estate agent and saying, let's do it. And then, like, I started, I already knew about the red tide and all that because I was researching it. Today was the first time I actually couldn't, like, I went so close to it that and it was so close to the areas that I've visited that I've actually felt sick and my throat, I've never felt that. And, I was like, Sam, is this a red flag? It's a red tide. It's a red flag on the beach. And I started to feel like these are red flags. Now, again, I don't want to say that. I'm not the type of person. It felt like that a little bit. It felt. Now, I could be way off on that. I'm not trying to proclaim that I'm like psychic or anything, or like this was like, I'm just trying to say like it felt a little bit red flaggy, literally. And it was literally. So I was like, man, you're going to lose all your flexibility, so you got to be careful. Doug, hey, Doug, New Mexico's in the house. I was going to watch the previous video to this one to hear that rant. Well, check it out. That was a good one. But saw that you were live now. You got to check the rant out, though. That was hot, man, off the presses. That is a nice treat on a Saturday night. Doug, love and respect. Are you drinking the coolers watching me? Lillian, I was booking my 4th Florida trip of the year when I saw the red tide video. I hope it clears away before Christmas because I need my dose of vitamin D. Hopefully it should. And part of it is when the weather gets cooler, and the water temperatures get cooler, and the rainy season stops, that will help mitigate and alleviate some of these issues. So it may. But this has been around now. It's been lingering for a few years on this consistent. It's been around for decades, but it has progressively gotten worse and it's stayed around longer. You go look on YouTube. Don't take my advice. Go look on YouTube. Google it on YouTube. Red tide in Florida. And you're going to see since 2016 till now, this thing has been a problem that's getting worse and worse. So don't watch me. Watch other people. Watch scientists. Watch people, original Floridians that live in Florida. Watch the farmers, watch the people on the West Coast, watch people on the East Coast, watch them. Don't listen to me. You think like I don't know, I haven't been here? Go watch them. And they'll tell you that Lake Okeechobee is dying. They'll tell you that the West Coast fish coming up. They'll tell you. Even the farmers say, look, we may play a part of it, but so does the regular septic system. So does the natural environments. Maybe the pollutants are making it worse. Maybe the fact that they built a dam on the south end of the Okeechobee River where it naturally flowed into the Everglades, maybe that's causing a problem. And they built that to protect the sugar industry because there's a lot of farming and sugar, big money, and then lobbied, the senators and stuff like that. All that's part of it. Is there one answer? No. Is there one problem? No. It's a combination of things. May it go away? Yeah. Is New Jersey polluted? Yeah. Does New Jersey have issues? Yeah. Every state has issues. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not one of these people like, this is like the only issue here. Issues everywhere. But I'm just bringing it to mind because this is what I'm living through. So I'm sharing it. I share when it was a blizzard in Jersey. I don't remember people getting upset. It's a conspiracy. No, get the fuck out of Jersey. Gotta be careful. All right. Ali Ra, I respect your philosophy a lot. Thank you. And forgive me if I say the name. Al. Just a lot. Thank you. Less is more. So true. That's true. Definitely. But to be honest, I need too much money for a temporary period. Once I'm okay, then I want to spend it. What is your take on that, dude? I've been through that season of life where I spent frivolously. So I think some of it may be age. When I was younger, I spent more recklessly. I wanted to impress people. So I think that may be part of it. I can't speak for you. Everyone has their own experience, but I'm just sharing mine. And everyone struggles with different things. So I don't judge, right? Like some people struggle with not eating healthy. Some people struggle with not spending money wisely. None of us are better than any of us. So I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. And we all struggle. It's just we all struggle with different things. So I don't want to sit here on my high horse and say, look, this is what you should do. And then all of a sudden, like tomorrow, I'll lose money in an investment or something, and then who am I to judge anyone? I'm not. All I can say is this. This is what I've learned based on my experience, is you need to find a way to make sustainable money. So for me, at this point, the only way I've learned is to work. Now, eventually, if I'm able to do something else, it all would have come from me building up money from working. So that's one, is income. The second step is live below your means. So it sounds to me like you're on a hit them hard, make a lot of money, spend a lot. So you're trying to sustain it. You have to find your balance. Just like me. Like I was eating fried chicken every night, General Tso's chicken. And then, I went from eating fruits and vegetables. But I had to change. But then I had to find out how to balance it out. You got to find your balance. And that's going to take time. It's going to take trial and error. It's going to take research. And it's going to take the grace of God. But I believe if you're asking the question, you're seeking. I believe anytime you seek to improve and you share what you're struggling with, I believe you pave a road, you shed light on the issue, and you pave a road forward. So I believe that you'll figure it out for you. And I'll just share my experiences. Good comment. Thank you. Doug, funny. I have been having some strange thoughts about your situation after giving the thumbs up on a fixed location over the last week. You are nomadic. Is a fixed location right? Well, Doug, you're a supportive brother. And you gave me both perspectives. And I appreciate both perspectives. And I may get a home base tomorrow. I may do a video, say under contract. But I may do a video and say, look, I'm not doing anything. Or I may just let this linger for months. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to anyone. But Doug, I want to encourage everyone on this channel that watches regularly. Like you can say to me, Sam, I think you should get it, or Sam, I don't think you should get it. And I ask for those opinions. And I listen. There's 10% of people that are just like contentious. I don't listen to them. But 90% are just like, sharing with me on this journey. And I will make the decision. Even if you say yes and I get it, I won't resent you because I'm taking accountability for my decision. So, I'm going to take accountability for this decision, whether I say yes or no to a home base. No matter what anyone else says, I'm accountable as an adult. So never, don't put that burden on you. Don't feel bad like, oh, no, I told Sam he should do it, or I told Sam he shouldn't do it. No, just share because I'm accountable for me. I understand I can read a comment in context. I know where people are coming from. So Doug, I know where you're coming from. You've been a supportive friend. Like, I'm not going to guilt trip you. That's some bullshit. Like, you're my guy. So it's all love. Doug, those are just two thoughts that I have to come to mind over the last 2 days. Doug, it's all love, brother. Light walkers. Hey, Sam, what's up? I'm looking for an RV too. Okay. A tiny house, mortgage is a commitment. No, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I want to be fair. So is a 20-year loan on an RV, or buying an RV is a commitment. Everything has a level of commitment. I mean, I think the simplest way is the way I'm doing it. And I didn't buy a new car. I sold my condo that I owned for 15 years. I didn't buy a new car. I bought my Jeep Renegade a year before I sold my house. And I didn't buy my Jeep Renegade with the understanding of I was going to live in it. So what I did was, when I was looking at downsizing, I didn't want to buy another house in New Jersey because I knew I didn't want to live in New Jersey. I wanted to live in Florida. And then I thought about buying an RV as a transition because I knew I was in a transition period. Then when I started looking at RVs, I said, damn, this shit ain't so simple and cheap. And I did a video about that. Like, RV living ain't simple and cheap. Like, you got to have if you're going to buy a travel trailer, you got to have a vehicle that has the tow capacity. And then you have to, it's a little bit extra work to tow something. And then where are you going to put it? You got to have a campground. You got to have a place. And then if you're going to ride around in Class B or Class C, they're just as much money as buying an efficiency condo. And they're a depreciating asset. And you got more components to worry about. And then you haven't even tried living on the road. Let me tell you something. Living on the road wears on you. So I've been doing it for 2 years. And so there's been people doing longer than me and less than me. I'm just sharing my experience. My experience may be different than yours. So you certainly don't need my approval to buy an RV or to not. I'm just sharing. And what I can tell you is keep things as simple as possible definitely in the beginning. Then after you figured out for a couple months, for a couple years that this lifestyle's for you, then make adjustments. But I'm not mad if you say to me, hey, look, I want to get out of this mortgage and I'm going to buy an RV. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at anyone doing what they want. This is the only thing that I pretty much say pretty firm is whatever decision you make, just remember to live below your means. Because if you don't have financial freedom, you're missing the whole point of living free. The point of living free is you're not on the hook to anyone. At least to an extent where it can affect how you make videos or affect how you deal with work or affect how you deal with life. Like, when you're not on the hook to someone, you can live a different life. You can be you. When you're on the hook too much, you can't be you. And so that's what I would share. I wish you the best. Kimberly, hey Sam, still planning my downsize move. Good job. Leaning towards the ProMaster high roof, short wheelbase for city living. And I know someone to kit it out for me and my partner. I'm not mad at that. It sounds like you have a good plan for you. Everyone has their own fingerprint and everyone has their own plan. I want the best for everyone. Keep me posted. Lightwalkers, what's your email? I don't do emails. If you want to leave me a comment on YouTube, that's fine. But that's all I do. That's enough interaction for me. I thank you for the comment, but I just don't get to that zone. Thank you, Kimberly. I would rather have the ProMaster City and keep the flexibility. Flexibility is the biggest asset. Good job. But for two people, here's the issue. Two people, different story. Good job. For two people, I think it's worth losing some of that for comfortability. I agree. See, here's a time where I agree with trading off your greatest asset, flexibility. Why? Because if you're deciding to do this with someone else, you need a healthy, sustainable environment. And for it to be sustainable, you got to have boundaries when you're dealing with another relationship. Why do neighbors fight? There's not enough boundaries between them. Or somebody crossed a boundary. If you're living with someone else, you have to have your own separate space. Even if it's a little bit, you got to. Hopefully it's divided too by like a wall, even if it's like an RV wall or door. In an office space, when all the cubicles don't have dividers and you can see all your coworkers, that doesn't lead for a healthy environment. Why? Because you don't have your own personal space. Like everyone's on top of you. So, in my opinion, I agree with you. If you are the type of person where you want a relationship and you're going to be doing this lifestyle or any lifestyle with someone else, I recommend sacrifice some of your flexibility for comfortability and extra room. My mother lives with my sister in a studio condo, and let me tell you something, it's a disaster. Not enough personal space, not enough personal boundaries. So what I can tell you is get extra room for extra personal space when you're doing something with someone else. Never forget that. Good job. Chevy Life, shout out to Chevy Spark. Sam, hope you had a good day. It was overall good. Somewhat a little bit suspect, but overall good. Keep enjoying the strong Wi-Fi Lowe's. Yes. Good job. That's how I tapped into it, even though Lowe's is closed. There's cars in the parking lot, but no one's sleeping in there. I don't want to stay here too long, because I don't want the cops to think I'm doing anything crazy. I'm not sleeping here. I'm out of here after this. Kimberly, because with the smaller one, we can park garages when it gets cold, no matter where we are. Not with the high tie top. What do you think? For two people, I think go with the extra space. I don't like giving up flexibility. I don't like the high top vans, but I like boundaries and I like my own personal space. So for two people, I would opt for more space as long as it is going to be below your means. If it's not going to be below your means, then you have to do something within your means. But that's my overall mindset. Yolanda, 34/44 5,000 is 34,45,000, no matter how you slice it. Then some, to what end? No, there's no doubt about it. Now, for me, again, having a career that sometimes, look, I go to work every day, and I've gone to work every day for 22 years. So I have a certain salary. Even if I bought something for $50,000, it's below my means. Most people, apartment, they pay at least $800, at least. So you do 800 times 12, you're looking at about $10,000 a year. Okay, $10,000 a year. If you rent a place for 5 years, that's $50,000. Okay, and most people spend at least $1,000 on rent. At least most people. Okay, so I've been living in my car for 2 years, and I tell you my budget. I spend about $2,500 a month. Okay, so if I bought a home base for $25,000 in the RV for $10,000, basically what I'm doing is renting an apartment for about $700 a month for 3 years. And then after that, I own it. So it's way below my means. And that's how I would get to the justification of it. So for me, at this point in my life, based on my economic situation, and based on most people, I don't know anyone who could buy a house cheaper than that or rent a house cheaper than that. The issue is not the cost. The cost is very well, it's below most people's means. I mean, yeah, if you come buy something for 25, it's the same thing as renting. The only issue would be a down payment for some people. Because my fixed costs are going to be $250 a month. That includes tax and HOA and utility. So the issue comes down to the mental commitment, not the financial. For me, for that one. So it's the mental burden and how I want to live and what I want to live. If I just drive to the gym, drive to Starbucks, then drive back every night, and I just do a routine, I'll save money buying that home base. The way I live now. I just traveled today 300 miles back and forth. Bought a couple things at Publix, couple things at Starbucks. Spent probably about $30, $40 in groceries. If I would have bought bulk and I had a home base, it's cheap. But I'm living an inspired life. I still feel inspired. If I don't feel inspired, if I feel upset, then I change. Now I'm starting to feel different than I felt than last year. Last year I was totally inspired, and last year, I was so fired up because I wanted to get down to Florida. Now I'm in Florida. Now I want to settle in a little bit. So it's a little bit of a balance. But now I think to myself, look, if I really want to, I could just travel around the state, stay at campgrounds, and mix it in with free camping. I can sustain that. I could. And right now, that's where I'm at, but I got to see. I love you, Yolanda. Marin, heart emoji, love and respect. Waving hello to you. Love and respect to you, Yolanda, and everyone. Doug, okay. After listening to you, I've changed my mind. No, nothing wrong with that. If these doubts come up, do not, all caps, purchase anything for now. Move on. If the urge comes again, revisit the idea of the roots. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the comment. I listen to that. Free to be me. Jeep should sponsor you. You are a true renegade. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like that. But then I say to myself, Sam, if they sponsor me, I can't be me. Why? Because let's say they sponsor me and they give me a new Jeep or they give me money. Then all of a sudden I want to buy a Toyota Prius. Guess what I can't do? I can't buy one. Why? Because I'm controlled by their financial obligation, by their financial donation. If I go live and I start accepting super chats and then somebody gives me shit, I can't tell them to kick rocks. But I will, but there's an obligation. Part of living free is living below your means so that you have all your financial resources, so you don't even have to pander even to Jeep Renegade. And that's what would happen. That's what happens in church. I've seen it. The pastor starts to depend on the people to pay their mortgage, and then somebody acts up. The pastor can't say shit. Why? Because that person's feeding them. Some people like to go on YouTube channels that collect money, collect donations, you buy stickers. And there's a game being played. The game is I'm giving something to you. You're giving something to me. Favor for favor. I'm going to hang your ceiling fan. I'm going to cook you soup. Fucking disaster. Now, the truth is, look, I'm blessed, but I worked hard. And at any time, anything can change. Look, if things were bad for me and Jeep was going to give me money and I needed that to survive, I would take it in a minute. I wouldn't compromise my soul for it, but I would take it. But, at this point in my journey, like even if Jeep came to me, I said, look, I got to read the contract. Does the contract say that I can never change cars or I got to lie? Now, look, again, if I was destitute, then, you do what you got to do. But if I'm at peace and I'm doing all right, I may want to get a Toyota Prius and, bang out a Colombian girl on down in Miami. Now, am I going to get judged for that? Probably. But Jeep ain't going to be able to tell me I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about the curse. All right. Light waters, Class B. I'm not mad at you. Rico, looking at the same raises your brain's electrical energy. Oh, looking at the sun, I totally agree with that. The sun is vitamin D. The sun is energy life force. I totally agree with that completely. I mean, to me, when it's cloudy, you can feel the energy getting sucked out of your body. When I was up in Jacksonville, when I was heading up north, I felt the energy levels decreasing from my body. Real talk. And I didn't like that. I had to turn around and go southeast. Oh, yeah. Big time. Marin. I love the Atlantic coast. Me too. Best, even though I live on the Gulf. Love and respect to the Gulf Coast. So glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. I'm thankful for Florida. I'm thankful for good people like you, and I appreciate you. You and your husband, I wish you a lot of success. I layer on I layer on the ground today in the sun and in wonder. I'm not mad at that. Instead of snow angels, make sun angels. Like, in the snow, they say make snow angels, make sun angels. I want you to roll around in that dirt or sand. See, the magical part about Florida is the dirt, the sand, like there's not a lot of dirt. There's sand under the ground. And I like that. It's very inspiring. Rico, everything they sold us is a lie. A lot of it is. Housing BS, to some point, you're right, is just a small piece of the system that keeps us slaves, economically speaking. No, I mean, it's an interesting comment, Rico. To a big extent, you're right. Now, to some extent, I have to be fair and balanced. To some extent, most people, not all, most people need a fixed location and it's beneficial to society, especially if you're going to have a family. I mean, I'm odd as far as like me wanting to be single, me being, and even me in my singleness and my 30s and my establishedness. You have to remember, one is I lived a fixed location for 15 years and I wanted to at that season, so I had that season. Two is, even now I'm looking at a possible home base. So there's a value there. So I have to be fair. There is a value in having a home base. There is. And for most people, I think they should. For most people, I think they would suffer in my lifestyle. But the problem with the system is created for everyone. When the system has to be careful that most people may thrive in this system, but there's some people that don't thrive in this system. So there has to be a level of freedom for you to be able to create your own system within the system. And that's where society struggles, because society builds a template for what's beneficial for most people and in general speak. Because you got 350 million people, there's no way you can build a system that speaks to everyone, right? So, and that's very challenging. I don't blame politicians for that. I don't blame corporations. The fact is, look, if you got 300, it's hard to keep 3 people going together in the same direction, let alone 350 million. So everything is not politicians' fault. Everything is not corporations' fault. Some things are just like when you have so many individuals with their own individual fingerprint, how do you build a system that like speaks to everyone? You can't. It's impossible. So, you just try to be as fair and as just and as free as possible. Karen, red tide hits many places, even the Great Lakes. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, the red tide is somewhat natural occurring. It's a natural occurring algae. But where it differentiates, at least in my studies, in my research, I could be wrong, where it differentiates in Florida has some man-made activities that has added to the intensity of the red tide being algae. The algae increases because of the environment it can grow in, with the situation with Lake Okeechobee, that man has built a dam around it to prevent the natural flow of the pressure to go into the Everglades. They embedded that dam, and the sugar and farm industry built around it, and now they're lobbying to keep the dam because the dam is building up pressure. There's so much through the building up of Orlando area, through the population and development of Florida, the waste, 40% of Floridians use a septic system. A septic system is when your shit literally goes in the ground and it just seeps through the ground and the pores of the ground and then into the body of water. And eventually Lake Okeechobee is like the drain for most of that. And so many of that is draining into there. And because it doesn't have the natural flow where it once did to flow out and relieve that pressure and go into the South Everglades, the dam was built up. Now it's building up pressure, it gets high during rainy season. So this natural occurring thing, this algae that grows, is now growing stronger because of all the feces, the human feces, the cattle feces. Because again, when you have the dairy industry, you're mass producing cows, not at a natural level. Cows don't reproduce at that level, but when you can sell dairy, when you can sell their breast milk, you will increase the sale. You will increase the mating of those animals for your profit. When you can sell cattle for money, you will increase them reprocreating because that's your profit margin. Okay. So now you have feces, cattle feces, human feces seeping into the ground, going into this. It's a toilet bowl. Lake Okeechobee is now a toilet bowl, a man-made toilet bowl, not natural. And so now in rainy season, when this builds up, this toilet bowl has all the ingredients. It has the hot, warm climate. It has the natural occurring algae. And it has the human pollutants and industrial pollutants through the cattle, sugar industry, septic systems, all going into there, water levels go up, the dam will collapse if the pressure isn't released, and it would kill mass population around there. So to relieve that pressure off the dam, they put the relief valves. They open them up to the east and west, and it flows to the canals. And then all that concentrated algae seeps into the systems, kills many of the wildlife, the sea life, the mammal life inside the water, and then it comes to shore. So it's a natural thing, but it's on steroids for human intervention. Life is a balance. Sustainability is humans living in conjunction with nature. You can't have a society where you don't build. You can't have a society where you don't take advantage, and you never have a society if you don't use the land for your own resources and for your own, whether it's to make money, whether it's to make energy. But if you abuse it, if you abuse the land, then just like if you abuse a relationship, it goes sour, it goes algae, it goes red tide. So it's a combination of things. There's no one answer, there's no one fix. But that's my research has shown. I'm not saying I'm right in everything, but I challenge people to look it up. That's what I challenge you to do. At least I brought it to light. I challenge you to look it up. Not just listen to me, listen to scientists. Listen to people who've lived here long term. And then in a collection of all the things you've listened to, then form your own decision. That's what I did. And that's what I think. Good job. Nordic Pride. Politicians always behind some kind of contamination. Well, money is behind contamination. And we need money. And if I was a farmer, I understand that perspective. But again, 40%, from what I saw, you can double check me, 40% of Floridians use a septic system. And again, Lake Okeechobee has a man-made dam. All that plays a part. So it's not just farmers. Some of it's farmers. Some of it's the sugar industry. Some of it's the dairy industry. Some of it's development. But there's nothing wrong with development. There's nothing wrong with the cattle industry. There's nothing wrong with sugar industry. But it's a matter of imbalances. Imbalances equal unsustainability. If you're eating Chick-fil-A every night, if you're eating out every night, you're not going to sustain your health. If you're starving yourself every night to lose weight, you're not going to sustain that weight loss in a healthy way. Sustainability is about balance. And balance is what society struggles with since the beginning of time. That's why we go from Barack Obama to Donald Trump, two extremely different people. Society's looking for balance. Buddha, on his quest to enlightenment, tried all these different extremes, and his answer was, enlightenment is found in the balance of things. Balance is a relative term. For some people, balance is a Class B. For some people, balance is a 2,000 square foot house. For some people, balance is a 25 square foot Jeep Renegade at Lowe's parking lot at 10 o'clock at night. We all have our own fingerprint. We're all different. Hard for 350 million people to agree on balance. Good job. True Colors. Hey, brother. When I heard you were talking about the red tide, I thought about social media talk. Was the election season? Maybe it's a sign. We'll see. Well, everything is a game, right? So, but this you look it up. This has been happening since 2016 under two different presidents. Okay, and it's only gotten worse. So go do the research. It doesn't just come up in election season. It came up under when Barack Obama was president. It's happened when Trump was president. And the Senator Rick, whoever, he's been in office the whole time. And he's got ties to it. So it's all, go look it up. Go research it. It's not just a political talking point. You go to Palm Beach right now. You go try to swim in that ocean. Then you tell me it's just political. You go where all those dead fish are. You go to Lake Okeechobee. You go to different places. Now, some of them are untouched. I've been to some. I've been to them all. I'm traveling. I'm actually here. And I can tell you, some of it's legit. Some of it's fine. And there's no one answer. I haven't given you one answer. I've given you a collection of things based on the research I've done, which is, I think, go look it up. I think you're going to find it's pretty accurate. And, you form your own opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion. Just like right now, some people are in their house, some people are in their car. I'm probably the only one in my car talking, right? So, we're all different. This is my opinion. Marion, my advice to friends who were planning to come to Christmas, to New Year's, is to wait until the New Year is over. I hate to see anyone sick. Tell people not to go. Take children. I just start feeling better now. My throat was sore for about 4 hours, and I was only at the beach for about 10 minutes. That's real talk. I wouldn't lie to you. Believe me. You think I want to tell you that the beaches were bad today? I don't want to tell you that. I look at my videos. I made most of the videos just pumping up Florida, saying nothing's wrong. It's great. So when there's trouble in paradise, I get a lot of shit for that. But when I tell you that Jersey shit, come to Florida, everyone loves that. I got to tell you both. Why? Because that's I'm giving you the real. Marin, I think you're right on. Live simply below your means. You won't have any regrets for that. Amen. Thank you, Marin. Al, thanks. Thank you. A million times, my friend. Love to you. Love and peace back to you, brother. Doug, I appreciate you allowing me and others to throw thoughts. I love you, brother. Feeling intuition at you about your situation. Again, with me, it's just ideas. I appreciate that. I respect you, and I love your insight. They stick or not, it's all good. That's right, it's all good, brother. T-Ma. Talking to Al is helpful. Yes, it is. Thank you. You have wisdom from your own experience. Thank you. Remind yourself of your end goal. Good job. Thank you. And what truly matters. Good comment. True ma. Good job. Doug, Sam, we are all making it up as we go and adjusting as needed. Great point. There is no way to make a decision that is locked for life. That's a great point. Sometimes I struggle with that. You know, I really had to fight myself to like separate myself from the church because I separated myself from the street life. I got real tied in the church, then I had to separate from church, and then I had to form myself. And now, like, I go nomad. I separate myself from materialism. Now I'm living real simple. Now, if I acquire anything, it's like that adjustment. But you have to be willing to evolve. If you're not willing to evolve, you will die from whatever is holding you captive. Never forget that. The world and other factors wipe out that possibility. Oh, there's no way to make a decision that is locked for life. Yeah, I agree with that. Good job. Doug, just so you know, I live debt-free in a house with my wife and cat. I'm not mad at that. My wife is happy. Good job. I'm happy. If something happens to her, this may not be the lifestyle for me. Well, I understand that. I might go nomadic. I understand that. Look, a lot of people waiting for their spouse to die to live their dream. I'm not saying you are, but it's out there. Oh, yeah. Kimberly, I love you, Doug. Kimberly, we have 2 separate spaces. Privacy curtain in between when necessary. Well, anybody watch this channel, you know I'm anti-sheetrock. I believe sheetrocks are prison. But if you live with someone, build a sheetrock wall. Why? You want to be as far away from them as possible. Oh, total disaster. But everyone's different. I don't want to judge. Tom, what's up, brother? Tom Hanks. What's up, Sammy? Interview went well. Good. I've been thinking about you. I'm feeling good about it. Good. I hope you didn't hit on your boss. I got love for you. Kimberly, thank you, Sam. Always appreciate your wisdom. Heart. And then the fist emoji, thank you. Love and respect. Love and respect right back to you. Doug. This is the cops. I got to get out of here. Oh, no. There was a guy, because there's a guy with his hazards on. And I don't want him to think I'm like causing trouble here. No, he's just doing a patrol. I'm right by all night thing. Let me park. I'm right by all night convenience store, so I want to park by there, because again, the cops just patrolling the area, and he sees different people parked in the parking lot. So I probably lost you for that. But this is where the Wi-Fi sucks. Everything's good though. Love and respect. Skinny Pop is good for food. Saxon, hey Sam, this is my first time watching you live, but I've been watching a lot of your videos. Thank you. I hope the Wi-Fi is still coming in good. Well, I'm not on Wi-Fi anymore. Now I'm on, I don't know what I'm on now. I think I'm on my Sprint. Janice, what happens to the waste at the dump station? I don't know. I don't know enough to comment on that. I don't want to lie to you. Dr. Looney Tunes Show. Hey, you're at Lowe's. Yep. Not shopping there, though. Just use the Wi-Fi. Yolanda, if I had my way, I'm working on it. I live out of my backpack. I'm not mad at you. As a local all over our planet. I'm not mad at that. We're all human. It's our planet. Planes, trains, and automobiles. I remember that movie. And lots of walks. Taking it slow. I'm not mad at that. Jan. Hey, Jan. Do you think about South Florida ending up underwater? I've heard about that. But again, they've said that California can end up underwater through an earthquake. And, you can be in New York and a terrorist attack happen. There's nowhere on this planet that you can go that there's no risk. That anything can happen. So that's what eases my mind about things. Anywhere you live in this world as a human, we're all human. Anything can happen. So I just take it from there. Or maybe about your home base fare doing hurricanes. I do think about hurricanes because Florida being underwater, I think there's a higher chance of Louisiana being underwater again than Florida because of the way Louisiana elevation is and their dam system. But hurricanes are a legit thing. Now, that's why I like buying an RV lot, because I don't have a structure. I just have a piece of concrete. But if I'm not going to tow the RV, which I'm not, I got to anchor it down. And then even if I anchor it down and I don't care if it blows away, I don't want to be liable if it blows like in the sun. I have insurance, but it's another thing I worry about. So that's how I feel about it. Good question. Yolanda, balance, all caps, period. Let's end on that note, because I do want to get out of here. I want to use the bathroom. I want to find my spot for the night. I appreciate everyone. I love everyone. I want the best for everyone. Go in peace. Peace and love.